I think we're live. I hope we're live. Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody. This is Burt Middleton, the Gout Killer, and I really appreciate you joining me this evening for this Google Hangout. And we're going to be talking about the paleo diet for gout. If you're unfamiliar with the paleo diet kind of is also called the caveman diet. And so the what is the most interesting thing about it is that cavemen ate lots of plants and they ate and they ate meat, but they didn't really go around trying to forgot to turn that off. So they didn't go around trying to milk cows or goats or anything like that. They didn't really have milk. They didn't have dairy, and they certainly didn't try to be farmers and grow grains and then grind it all up and bake bread out of it. I mean, they were just running around out there, grabbing a handful of this and grabbing a handful of that and clubbing one of this animal or that animal and eating that meat probably raw. And that is how our bodies are biologically designed to operate. It wasn't until about 12,000 years ago that we started to develop agriculture and grow things and grow plants and then grow grains and then start to figure out how to use those grains and cook them and make breads basically out of them, or make cereals out of them. Without going really too deep and too long about all of this, there's a very specific point that I want to make about how the paleo diet is probably a very good diet for gout. I mean, I know it's a good diet because it's the diet I basically follow. And even though I'm not really all that hot on the idea of diets in general, I think that the minute you kind of like start pigeonholing yourself into one diet or another, you're already going down the wrong road. So, what is important to me is that if you stop and if you just stopped and really tried to think about what was it like to be a paleo man, what was it like to be a caveman. So you're just running around the countryside, and I mean every day is filled up with, okay, what am I going to eat today so I can live another day. And that was pretty much the whole business of life on the planet. It was just like, what am I going to eat today? And so, if you could imagine, you probably spent a lot of time trying to club little animals or club big animals and, saw them up with a rock or something and just chew on them. But probably in the process of all of that, there were lots of plants all around, and some of them tasted better than others. And so you, after a time, started to notice that the leaves from this tree tasted really good, or the roots from that plant over there tasted really good, or the flowers from this plant over here tasted really good, or the berries or the fruit from this plant over here tasted really good. So when everybody starts thinking about paleo, they're thinking really very specifically about eating meat, and they're very specifically talking about eating fats. And the macronutrients, some people do and some people don't include water, but we're more water than anything else. So I include water as being a macronutrient. But we're all concerned with carbohydrates, we're all concerned with fats, and we're all concerned with proteins. Proteins are where the purines are, and if you eat too much red meat, theoretically, you're going to get gout. Well, that is not completely true. There is a component to it, but we need those good proteins and those good amino acids. But we also need those fats. And over the last 40 years, we've been told not to eat fat. If you eat fat, you'll get fat. Nothing could be further from the truth. But what has been more interesting is that we've then shunned fats and gotten lots of carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are what turn into fat in the body. So the more carbohydrates you eat, just look around. We eat lots of bread, cereal, pasta, stuff like that. We're all becoming more overweight because of all of that. But we can get our carbohydrates where we should get our carbohydrates from is plants. And we can eat lots of good fresh fruits, and we can eat lots of green leafy foods. We can eat lots of different kind of brassica type vegetables, lots of cauliflower, lots of broccoli. Some people think if you eat cauliflower, you're going to get gout. You'd have to eat a lot of cauliflower to get gout. I mean, it's probably a little higher in purines than some foods, but relatively speaking, you're not going to get gout from eating cauliflower. It would be a very rare case. But the point I'm trying to make here is that everybody thinks too much about the paleo diet being this: you eat tons and tons of meat, you eat tons and tons of fats, good healthy fats, good saturated fats, monounsaturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, and you eat some plants. Well, that I don't really, I just can't imagine paleo man, a caveman, eating way more meat than plants. It was probably pretty hard to catch, to club some animal and kill it and eat it. But it did happen, and that's where the caveman thing came from. But that's what I really wanted to point out, is that when you think about a paleo diet, you're probably eating more plants, and you want to eat plants from a really good source. You want to eat those good healthy vegetables. You want to eat those good healthy fruits, and try to stay away from all of the grains. And not that grains are in and of themselves bad, but for the most part, all the forms of grains that we get these days are just incredibly processed and just messed up. And that's what is causing a lot of problems in the world today. And there is certainly a component that adds to the whole gout problem. It just comes down to, we just get carbohydrates turned into glucose very quickly in the body, and we have a lot of problems that get created by we have just too much glucose in our blood, and we get too much of an insulin response. We move in the direction of diabetes. That moving in the direction of diabetes causes all kinds of different problems, especially for the endocrine system. Controlling blood sugar is a very hormone-based process. So that's where I wanted to go with this, and I'm kind of keep looking over here because there are a couple of references. One thing is that there's a great kind of a famous nutritional guru kind of a guy, maybe you've heard of him, called Chris Kresser, and he put out a blog. If you just do a search on Chris Kresser paleo diet, you'll get a blog post that is really, really a good blog post. I mean, this guy's a brilliant dude. So, I mean, everybody follows him. I follow him. He's very well studied, and really knows how to explain all of this. And he can set you straight about what going paleo. I mean, he has one headline here: eating a paleo diet won't cause gout. And I couldn't agree more. And the other person that I am kind of really following these days, and he's got a really good blog post, podcast out there, and it's latest in paleo. This guy Angelo Coppola, man, if you're into podcasts, this is the best podcast. And he's up to episode number 130, but in his episode number 128, The Truth Bomb, he really talks about how eating processed foods, we don't accept eating processed foods in so many other different ways, but he's moved his diet even away from eating processed oils like olive oil, like coconut oil, like different kinds of flax oil, because in order to get oil, we have to process it. And so we're talking about, hey, don't eat processed foods anymore. And here we are going, but, olive oil's okay and coconut oil's okay. Well, maybe we need to rethink that part of it too. And he talks all about that. So I just wanted to throw that out there and draw your attention to it because it's a lot of valuable information. So anyway, as usual, I could ramble on and on and on and on, but I'm not going to do that to you. I just wanted to throw that out there that eating paleo is a really good thing. A little bit of meat, lots of vegetables, pretty good amount of fruit. You're probably going in the right direction. Make sure you stay hydrated. I've had to change the weekly conference calls to Wednesday evenings at 6:30, and then every other. I was trying to do it every second and fourth Thursday of the month, but I think I'm just going to do it every other Wednesday evening. I'm going to be doing these Google Hangouts at 7 o'clock. And as always, you can catch, I put these into blog posts so you can re-listen to the conference calls or you can re-watch these Google Hangouts. And they will be in blog posts that are on thegoutkiller.com. Just go up into the right-hand corner and click blog and you'll see it all. Or you can go to my page. There's a tab at the top of the page called Gout Killer TV. That, I'm trying to make a big deal out of this. But if you click that, I also post there that you can watch the live stream of the Google Hangouts as well. So just key into that, and that's where I post all the information of what's coming up next and what the topics are going to be. So I also have a gout-specific seminar, a gout talk that I'm doing at the Natural Grocers location here in Denver that you find at the corner of Colorado and Evans. And again, on that tab, Gout Killer TV, there's a link to all the information about what time and where it is. But I'll tell you again right now, it's on Sunday, February 22nd at 1 p.m. It only lasts an hour. I would love it if you could make it there and just join me to join forces with me to do what we can to raise awareness about what gout is all about, what we can do about gout, and most particularly that by living a good, healthy, nutritious lifestyle and paying attention to what goes in our mouth and what goes through our skin and the air that we breathe, that is how we're going to take care of our gout situation in the world. And that's what I'm all about. And so, again, I hope you can join me. So thank you for showing up for this Google Hangout. And also, thank you for listening to or watching the replay, if that's what you're doing right now. And I look forward to when we might be able to talk on the phone or when we can email. So the GoutKiller.com is where you'll find all the information to get a hold of me, and I would love to help you if I can. And if you've got an interesting experience about gout, maybe you would be helping somebody else as well. So thank you very much. Talk to you soon.